All right, well, I've gotten Adam to come back on the line today. We went over the killer deal that he made on that beachfront property yesterday, looked over what that might be worth, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about how he did that deal. Adam, you on the line?
Yes.
All right, great. You know what, I'm really interested on this one. You kind of had an interesting story on your first deal, how you had to track a brother down to Florida and find one that was kind of, hanging around town in order to get that deal done. How is it a little bit different on this one? How you actually made contact with the seller and how it led to the deal?
Well, my first original contact was just by shooting her out a letter several months ago. I believe probably in April. I sent her out a letter. Never heard from her. I tried contacting her several times. Never got an answer. There was no answering machine. So and at first glance, honestly, because of where the property is, I didn't necessarily, without driving out there and not knowing the area that well, I didn't actually know that it was a killer deal. And then, time went by, and I never gave any thought to that particular property. And then out of the blue, about 10 days before the tax deadline, this woman tried contacting me, and we got in touch and talked, and she said, she was going to lose her home and wanted to know if I was interested in coming out and take a look at it. And I said, of course. She kind of gave me a description of the house and its location, which really interested me, which, it's in very close proximity to Lake Michigan and the beach, which is very desirable in this area. So, I took a drive out there, and we made first contact and took a look at the place. And, the place needed a lot of work, but as we know, location is everything.
Yeah, and it backed right up to a major beach in the area, right?
Correct,
yeah.
Yes.
What's it, West Beach or Wells Street Beach? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
All right. So, this seller wasn't really looking to give away the house. She kind of knew what it might be worth. And so how did it start with what she wanted to get out of the property? Somewhere close to full price, or?
Well, with the property, as the property sits right now, she wanted full retail value. I went there on a Thursday before the July 4th weekend. She explained to me she was going out of town and this and that, and we agreed that I would give her an offer the following Monday. Well, she was nowhere to be found Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All of a sudden on Thursday, she contacted me and said her car broke down while she was out of town, and this all of a sudden put me in a bad spot because, we were less than a week away from the tax deadline. And I gave her my offer, and she hung up on me. So I called her back and told her I had another option, or two more options for her, and we discussed those options, and she was adamant on getting $150,000 for the property, and to say my first offer was well below that would be an understatement. So, and you have to remember, in order to redeem the home, which I was going to have to, there was no trying to market this or rehab it and get it sold before the deadline. I was, within 3 or 4 working days of the deadline. On this was actually Thursday before the deadline of next week, Wednesday. So.
And you didn't have a cash buyer list at the ready or anything like that yet?
No, nothing like that ready. We agreed to do. She agreed to one of my options, which was $40,000 with, she would finance $35,000 on a promissory note, and I would put $5,000 down.
I'm sure a lot of the people that are listening to this are wondering, we talked about 2 Adams deals. It sounded like he needed, somewhere around $30,000 or $40,000 in cash to get them all done, and I don't have that kind of cash. How can I do deals like this? Well, how did you actually fund the second deal, Adam? It's a lot of money to come up with on a short notice.
Yeah, on this particular deal, I had in some of the other properties that I purchased, and a lot of the properties, by far, this is the most I've ever paid for a property. And all the other properties that we're talking, stuff that, if you're not doing it, if you're working and you're not doing it full time, most anyone could afford it. It's almost like you're paying for a vacation or something else, and especially if you don't have to redeem the property right away, then a lot of times you're not paying that much money. This particular property I did, and another property, I needed to find some private investors for rehab money. Being that I just got started in this business full time, I don't have banks lining up the door trying to loan me money. So I went over this deal with the private investor, and he really liked it. And the nice thing about private investing is, I don't have to wait 30 days or 15 days to get my money. I could get it in 15 minutes, which actually I got the money the same day that we closed. About 3 hours before we closed, I actually received all the funds for the deal. So it was, it's something that everyone should really think about trying to do, is especially whether you're doing it full-time or part-time. It's nice to have private money. Obviously, they're going to want a percentage back and make the money too, but it avoids the problems of, trying to sell yourself to banks and, worrying about your credit or anything else. If you find private investors, the money's always there.
Yeah, the way I found my first couple was just going over the tax sale bidder lists of the people that were bidding on tax property in my county, and got to know two of them, including Jonathan, who's now my attorney. He was a private lender of mine at first, and that's a great way to get to know people. And since they're in the business, they know exactly, they understand exactly what you're doing, and they can either be good cash buyers for you, or they can also be private lenders for you. So I know you were running around frantically that last day getting this deal done. How does it feel now that you got it done? You've been able to relax a little bit last week or so?
Yeah, no, definitely. There was some sleepless nights. I mean, it's nice having the resources, being able to pull everything together that quick. Was the last day we could do it. Literally, the next morning was the tax sale deadline, and I was there at when the county office opened at 8:30 to redeem this property, just to make sure I had no problems with any of the paperwork and anything else like this. So that's about as close as a last-second deal as you can get.
Yeah, it sure is. So you got a little breathing room now. What are you going to do next? I know you got to sell off these two properties, maybe finish some little stuff on those. You got any plans for some more deals coming up here the next few months?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to explore other local counties, and then possibly even, get a little adventurous and look into other high-profit counties where I have a feeling that money could be made, where there's a lot of tax sales and high property values and things along that line. But first things first, I'll definitely go explore some of the local counties within driving distance of my home, and see when their sales were, and see if a lot of times there are different times of year in all the different counties. So explore there, as long as, doing things a little bit different than everybody else, so there's less competition.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, since you just worked at tax properties, pretty much you got right in your hands all the overages that are going to be available now coming up too, and that's another thing you could do once these next round of tax sale properties. You can work those, and then you'll have all the records in your hand to do the surplus recovery. So you're in a really good spot.
Right, yeah, we have there's several properties that, that I was trying to get a hold of the owners, never was able to get a hold of the owners, and really nice looking properties. For some reason, they were moved away or just was not able to get in contact with these owners, but there was high overages on these properties, and there's definitely a lot of opportunities there. And I have all the information I need. It's just a matter of getting in contact with the owners right now.
Yeah, for real. And people resurface all the time. Sometimes it's a little hard to find them, like the day after they move out of their property, but they get reestablished, and oftentimes you can find them then. So, well, hey, I really appreciate you doing these videos and calls for us. It's really getting a lot of positive feedback from everyone who's really appreciating it. And anybody else out there has a deal that they've done lately, I'd love to have you on our call as well and see exactly how you did your deal. So Adam, thanks again for everything you did for us last week, and I hope you get some more properties nearby in Indiana too we might be able to talk about.
No problem. Thank you for the course.
All right, so briefly going over Adam's deal again, I love where he's at right now. He's got about $60,000 invested in the deal, although less than half of that is out of pocket, and the remaining amount came from a private investor. It's about $125,000 value just for the lot where that property is, never mind the structure that's on it. That would give him about a $65,000 profit. And as we looked at some of those comps yesterday, it's pretty obvious that as high as $175,000 could be gotten for that property, and that would push him over the six-figure limit. And we know someone might be willing to pay that much because we saw that there's up to a $300,000 value for that property fixed up. I would not recommend you do the rehab yourself. That goes over my cash investment threshold there. But it's got the makings of a $100,000 deal. Congratulations, Adam, and anybody watching this video, send me your own case study or let me know about a deal that you've done in the past, and we'll feature you on one of these video series. So thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. Make sure you come to our webinar. It's going to be Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go over everything we've talked about and more in this video series. So we'll see you on the webinar.